let's say you were 2 years into your relationship and you had to assemble your own flowers.
She wouldn't care.
I don't know. I'm just not that kind of person.
Alex is
It's an
happy she gets a
impossible
gift
question
at
to
all.
answer.
Yeah, I am
That's
not
an
a
impossible question. I don't know why I asked it.
I'm like, you can't ask me that because I generally don't like receiving. I like giving.
Are there...
Shut the fuck up, Brett.
Oh, boy.
Mic drop.
See you later.
Bye.
$1 million, but when you climax,
Oh god.
Oh.
I can't believe we're taking it to this level.
you barf in your mouth.
Yeah, I probably would.
I probably
All right,
would.
ladies, be warned. Brett may puke on you.
He's not getting this offer right now. This is a scenario.
No, this is based on things that will never happen, right?
All right,
Or
let's
could.
do it right now.
What?
Let's use this
Go
scenario.
ahead.
Let's do it right
So Alex and I
now.
watched Black Mirror. It
We
came
binged
out.
it.
Came
You
out
don't
last
binge
week.
it.
Do you not consider 3 hours binging?
No, I said on the precast, I'm saying it now, to be binge-worthy, I think has to be at least 5. Binging is not about length of time, I think. It's about number of individual things.
I think it's about a season,
How many episodes is binge watching?
Well,
According
we
to
just asked him.
according to Google.
a survey conducted by Netflix in February 2014, they need
That's
to redo
5
this.
years ago.
They need to redo
Yeah.
this.
Before
Nope.
binging really
This
took
is,
off.
yeah. It says 73% of people define binge watching as watching between 2 to 6 episodes. 2?
2? No.
No.
No. Okay. I think.
This just rendered itself irrelevant.
It did. That was a very dumb.
Throw your phone.
It was very subtle. Throw your phone.
I just got a Charlie horse in my thigh.
Oh shoot!
I
You
thought
okay?
You were gonna fart or
Do
something.
you need something?
Hey, where's your Charlie
Just
horse?
give me time. It's on the bottom of this thigh.
Hey, you can do this. Put your foot out. Put your
I
foot
can't.
Out. Do it.
No.
Put your
Oh shoot!
Ah! Put it out. Now flex your foot up like your toes towards the ceiling. It looks like you're trying to take a shit.
What do you need to
Well, I
do?
don't want it to look like
What do you
that.
want to do?
I'm trying to put my foot over there.
Give me your
Help me. My back's to the camera.
No, you're fine.
Ridiculous.
You're fine. You're okay.
It's
You're okay.
ridiculous.
You're okay. You're
Let's do some
I'm doing some friggin' Christmas trivia. Welcome back to the PTOUnlimited podcast. My name's Brett.
I'm Josh.
Alex.
This
And we're not talking about UFC.
253. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it, Josh.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna ask if you saw the thing.
No, and
I
I actually
definitely-
avoided Facebook for 2 days to avoid the thing.
Alex's reaction was legit, but no, I don't expect you to have seen it.
I would be shocked if
the-
you've seen it.
The kick heard around the world. You know.
Yeah, but this happens all the time.
I know, but why?
Oh, not like this, man.
No, it happened actually a while back. The same guy. It happened to not to him, his opponent.
Anderson Silva was the first one that I remember had a really gruesome.
Just talking about a shin kick here that just flopped.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
That's
enough.
it. That's
Moving
it.
on.
That's it.
So let's talk about our desks.
Yeah, we all got deaths this week.
Well, you didn't.
Not yet. I'm on
Yours
the
is
way.
coming.
I'm on the way.
I didn't even expect. I got. When did you got yours last week?
Yeah.
I bought mine, I think, on Tuesday or Wednesday, and it was projected for like over a week out to be delivered. I took a nap on Saturday. I woke up. I had the email that it was delivered.
So sitting right outside your door.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Nice.
I built it Saturday night, and I love it.
So you got a corner desk. Alex got like a 42-inch desk. Like just a standard.
I'm glad that I
smaller
got
one.
that instead of the corner desk.
Okay, now, first of all, Alex, I got really mad because we bought that due to the fact that the corner desk was sold out. Yes.
And then it was in stock.
And then it was in stock.
Mhm.
The problem was there's actually 3 editions of that desk. There's the
3?
corner desk. There's that version of the desk that we bought.
Yeah.
And then there's a desk that's 5 inches longer. that I would have liked. That would have been a little bit better.
You should come sit at my desk just to feel.
So apparently you stayed at yours for a while. Like you were spending a lot of time at your computer now.
Saturday night, I was doing stuff, but I was just like, this is so much nicer than my old table. Plus, I have 3 screens instead of 2. However, the third screen is not hooked up to my computer. It's just a TV.
Now, are you like on the board of, well, now I'm going to sit at the desk and not at my couch? And using a tablet to watch something and playing video games at the TV.
Are we having this conversation again that I didn't understand?
I am much more. If I want to multitask, I'll sit at the desk. But if I'm legit wanting to invest in what I'm watching, then I'll sit on the couch.
That makes that's kind of what I do, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I do, and that's what I will be doing. Alex, maybe we should think about either moving you into the same room as me. Because that way we can spend more time together. Because we're gonna both be at our desks a lot more.
How does
often.
that make sense? That we're spending more
in
time
the same room.
Yeah.
Proximity.
We're like.
Why are you so mad?
We're
today?
like 15.
She's not mad. She's funky.
We're like 15 feet apart.
You're like Nymeria.
Oh my gosh.
My cough has been really bad.
Excuse me. My cough.
My cough has been really bad the last like 3 days. And it's gradually getting worse. And
have you been using your inhaler?
Yeah. And I avoid using it at night because it will keep me awake because of how hard and fast my heart pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, my COVID fatigue is like, because of my cough, I'm also getting really, really tired.
I had a rough weekend.
Did you?
I had a 12-hour day on Friday and an 11-hour day yesterday. So
yeah,
it was good that I was off Saturday, but I was feeling it today.
You're starting to get a little under the weather here. I'm still searching for a job. That's my update. Basic stuff. Nothing really. Nothing out there for graphic design. There's plenty of other places hiring.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is hiring.
Service is hiring, but they can't afford me.
Yeah.
Not what I need in order to sustain my lifestyle. But no, it'll
what
happen.
you're worth.
Right.
Your skills.
Exactly. Like I was applying for one position and it was a definitely below a pay grade that I would it was a basic it was an intro job for something that wasn't even anything in my degree close to it. More along the lines of why the hell are you applying? So yeah, I'm starting to get desperate where I'm feeling like I want to work in the service industry suddenly. I'm like, I just want to start doing something. I'm feeling like a pile of shit.
Well, you know what? Even if it's part-time to get you by.
Well, that's the problem.
Well, that's the thing, though. They're not going to pay us as much as we're getting now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And I think that's where a lot of places are getting the shaft right now.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You can't find anywhere because if you were let go from your job because your old job couldn't afford you, hint, hint.
Yeah.
Well, then unemployment's just taking care of it.
Yeah,
pretty
They
much.
basically just picked us up. So, yeah, we're still... That basically just gives us a safety net for him to be able to wait and look around for the right position versus scrounging and filling out applications every single day for McDonald's and, just place like food
Standard
industry.
service industries,
Yeah, like...
Entry-level jobs.
Yeah,
of things that aren't in my degree.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't
Places
want,
like a 16-year-old would start looking for. Like entry-level jobs.
And a lot of people are losing that mindset even. Like kids these days
Well,
are
I saw
like,
that
they don't
Mike's
even want
car wash the other day. They're even saying now hiring will hire up to starting wage at $12 an hour. I'm like, my God, they're like, people are really trying.
The thing is, the kids want their career job out
Now.
of the gate with no experience.
Sorry.
No due pain.
Sorry.
Well, some people get away with it. Some people do, though. And that's unfortunate because that gives other people the improper view of how life should really turn out.
Yes.
I've paid my dues.
Maybe you get your career job out of high school because you have a degree. Maybe you did an internship there and they like you. So they're like, okay, we're going to invest long-term in you.
Right.
Yeah.
But
we've done that with a coworker.
You come out of high school, and not that you need a degree, because we all know you don't need a degree to get a good paying job. But you don't come out of the gate making, a whole lot of money. And nobody knows that better than me because I've started at $6 an hour when I was 17.
I was less than you, man. I was at 5:15.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was even less.
Doing the grind at $5.15 an hour. I worked 3 jobs in college.
Small grocery store.
Yeah, the grocery store. Yeah.
I actually had a dream that I went back there a little while ago, and I was like, "Why am I dreaming about these
I
things?
had a dream the other night that I was back in. You said like, I
High
was
school.
like, yeah. I
Mhm.
told you I was back in high school, and I was having like stress dreams again.
Yeah.
It's always about me not getting to school like everyone else is already in class, and it's like my first day, and I'm wandering the halls of my high school, which is also mixed with all my other schools I went to, and somehow I always end up in the gym locker room, and I can't find my freaking locker, and I don't know my code. So then I try to go to the HR desk or wherever, what would you call it, student guidance or whatever, and then they're looking at me like, I was like, I don't even know what class I'm supposed to
Alex.
be in. Because you know
It's a
what?
stress dream.
You know what?
What?
My very first day of high school, I
Same
went to
thing?
the wrong class.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were supposed to go to homeroom, which is not on my little card.
Mm.
I went to first period, not homeroom, for the very first day. So I already went to the like that was
You
like
already
my
messed it
worst
up once.
my worst nightmare was to go to the wrong class because I was scared because I'd never been in the high school before
Mhm.
because it's so big.
Right.
Yep, went to the wrong
That's
class.
one reason why I'm glad my high school was small.
Mine was pretty small too.
Mine was huge.
Yours was smaller than mine.
But I
so.
still was really scared of
Huge.
getting lost in mine for some reason. Why did I even think that?
Mine-
It's weird.
I totally get that.
So
Mine was
many kids.
a big circle.
Yeah.
Like the hallway was literally a circle.
We drove by your school when we went down to Indy,
Yeah,
and
Yeah, I remember.
I remember it looked just like a bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing. It's like there's no corners. It's all circular. So
What would have really helped is if we would have done like a tour or something.
sure.
8th
some
grade.
people do that. Some high schools do that.
Snickers.
We
in there.
didn't.
Yeah. Well, she's not used to this environment.
She was being a lot nicer than Nymeria.
Well, I think it's environment change for both of them. Well, Nymeria picked up
Nymeria-
2 hairballs today. Big
Oh,
ones.
2?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's fur season for them to come off. Like, I was brushing them yesterday. They all got mad at me, and now they're vomiting up
Yes.
hairballs. I was trying to do the job for them.
Oh, what?
Well, with the hairbrush.
They all got mad.
Did you hear that?
I was trying to do the
he's like, I'm
job
trying
for
to do
them.
the job for them. Like,
I
how are
knew
you?
what he meant.
Oh,
Okay.
whatever.
He was following the conversation. You were like, oh, hi, Snickers. Following the what?
Squirrel.
Did you see that adorable picture though that he took of Snickers on Facebook?
Yesterday when we were sitting
Because we
at-
can never
Oh,
get
yeah.
can never get a good picture of her because she's black
Uh-huh.
and she just hides in. She's
She's
solid black
She's solid
cat.
black, so she doesn't.
She's
If
like,
her eyes are closed, you can't see her. So and
Exactly.
she almost always has her eyes kind of like closed or like halfway open. And she was laying on Josh and then just opened her eyes up all the way and looked at him, and he shot a picture of her. I'm like, I forgot what color your eyes are.
Yeah, she's
Um,
cute.
She's cute.
I'm growing a bigger bond with the animals sending them home every day.
Yeah, I bet.
So it's,
I know Layla doesn't even want to lay with me anymore. She's like, screw you, Dad's home all the time.
exactly. Yeah,
She'd be getting tired of you.
she
No.
thinks so.
No, she's not. She's like growing with him.
I'm gonna pull this photo up of Snickers. I want to do
Oh,
that.
the picture that you took. I like that.
Did you notice how foggy it was the other night? Like that was last night or 2 nights
Two
ago.
nights ago.
Sunday morning was very.
Very foggy.
Very
What was that all
foggy.
about? That was weird. Oh yeah,
That
there's
looks like
Snickers.
the cover to The Exorcist. Your fog picture.
It does.
It does,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Yeah. So
She's
here's
like, do you want?
yeah, sweet photo.
She's
But,
only a little adorable.
And then over the weekend there was the Josh fight that happened in Nebraska.
Now,
I am so like kind of like upset. Like I definitely have a lot of FOMO right now.
You see her missing out. Huh?
Yeah.
but it was cool that they let the little kid win.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. So much.
Hundreds of people showed up.
I
So
seriously
crazy.
thought it was gonna be just like 10 people.
Yeah, and just poodle
noodles. Some guys in a
noodles.
Spider-Man costume.
Oh, there
there's
was
so many.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, there's so many people like that were dressed in like Star Wars things.
It's
like,
just crazy, man.
oh my god.
And now they're like, well, how do we do this annually? Do we
what
do
was
a
the rock
different
paper
name?
scissors things against? Like that was the first duel
Well,
or
it was-
something.
actually, there's a photo of it you can see right here. These two guys were the main two
And they started it,
Joshes.
and they went.
And they started with rock, paper,
Paper,
scissors.
scissors.
And then everyone just hoarded in with
so
pool
was
noodles.
it all for one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you could treat it like a layer on role models.
So this is the greatest meme
Yes,
ever.
right there. That's exactly exactly what I was thinking.
So this meme that we're showing on our YouTube, the top portion is the Area 51 quote unquote raid, and the bottom one is the Josh fight. What we actually got was a swarm of people coming together, having a good time, and it was great. It was awesome. $10,000, over $10,000 went to the Children's Hospital in donations, and food was also
because they also
brought
made
to
it.
food
Yeah,
banks.
they made it a food drive as well. It
Yep.
was just everybody that came just like dropped off a bag of food, and we were watching so many different TikToks of people that were there, and there's
driving up.
There was and there's just it's out in the middle of nowhere because
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska, which is where one of our
My sister-in-law lives
Josh's,
there. Or sister.
No, your sister lives there.
Yeah, sister. Your sister-in-law.
My sister-in-law, your sister lives there. And there's one of these TikTok challenges. He says, you know, I'm gonna pass the phone to someone who does this, and that's just one of like, and then they did
a constant. I'm gonna pass someone named Josh.
I'm gonna pass my phone to someone named Josh, and then they would like take the phone and be like, I'm gonna pass my phone to someone named Josh, and they would just keep going around in a circle. There's so many Joshes, and there was like this one TikTok where this guy was like, hi, my name's Josh. He's like, my name's Josh. He's like, what's your middle name? And it's like
they both had the same middle names.
Like David or something.
Joshua
it's like
David.
Joshua David. He's like, so we're both Joshua David. And like, hey, high five. I'm like, man, that just would be so fun.
Awesome.
I'm really hoping they have one next year because Josh and I are like, we're totally going.
I wonder if they're gonna do a different name though. Like some
I
people want the Redditors want a different name and location.
They can make
ones,
whatever they want.
I mean, they can, yes, but if you do it once and then you start separating the crowd, you get less of a group.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So
I want them to continue the Josh meetup.
Josh meetup.
I think that's awesome.
The fact that it was successful almost guarantees that more people will be at the next one.
Oh yeah.
Depending on what they call it, who shows
Right.
where it is and everything. It all depends. But if it's
They
still
put
a thing,
like a
I'll go.
huge, like overly big Burger King like crown on the kid and lifted him up, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like the best ever.
Yep. Little Josh was his name.
Little Josh. Everybody was chanting "Little Josh" and had him up on his shoulders.
It was adorable.
He'll remember
So
that.
cute.
Everybody had a blast. I got to
Oh.
talk about something that I watched and I shared to you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Talk about it.
The soccer game.
The guy getting
Okay,
hit.
so I will say that I had to watch that like twice. I'm like, why is this funny? I just hear it going bling. I was not watching where the ball was going, and then I finally saw it, and I was like, okay, all right, that's funny because it kept hitting the same freaking guy.
3 times.
No,
Watch.
I have to make
Bling.
sure
It's the same player on the deck.
this doesn't have any audio. There we go. Okay.
Bling.
So, yeah, I'm gonna show this on our screen here.
So he takes it in the gut.
Right
and then
there.
He takes it in the gut again. And the last one is less of a hit, but it still hits him.
He looks
So,
like he's
yeah.
just like he's like, would you just quit it, man? And then once again, one more
He's
time.
already.
He's like, just stop.
I
Look
can't
at him.
pull over any farther.
And I was rolling when I was
Oh
laughing.
my god.
Great stuff.
That reminds me of like you talking about super mega baseball and like you throwing your baseball at
They're
the
hitting the
pitcher,
baseball,
hitting
yeah.
the pitcher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you ever been hit with a sports ball anywhere? I had a tradition
I don't think so.
that every single school. Okay, so I went to different schools a lot because due to parents having different jobs and stuff for a while.
No, just tell everybody that you were a horrible kid.
I was a horrible kid, but all my siblings were horrible kids too. No, we every single new place, I would go to a new place, get hit in the head with a ball. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Okay, so first day of 4th grade, I'm out there playing soccer, right in the cranium, bro. Right there.
Yep.
Oh, I was already on the ground. It went to me on the ground. Fast, real fast. I remember it happening. The ball was a smaller soccer ball. And then I'm not joking. 6th grade, we're playing football, right to the face. A football, right to the face.
Ouch.
Yeah. 7th grade, I went to another school, basketball. And then I didn't play any sports in high school.
And then you met me, and I was always asking you, why don't you play this? You play golf. Did you ever get hit with a golf?
No, I did not.
Did you ever get hit with a golf?
Did we get hit with golf? No, I did not. I did not actually. I don't think so. No, or golf clubs. No, nothing stupid. I was actually.
You were acting real smart around that.
Yeah. By the time I got to high school, I didn't touch any sports balls. With F that, man. But you never have.
Nope.
No, Alex.
Not-
I'm sure
I
probably
played.
have, but nothing comes to mind.
I mean, I didn't play any sports with balls. I played sports with a lot more dangerous objects,
like
guns sabers and wooden
and
guns and metal poles. And
you were in color
now,
guard.
how many times did I get hit? A lot.
Did you ever mention you were really in color guard on?
I
podcast?
don't know.
Yes.
You
Maybe.
did? No?
Yeah.
After 5 years, I'm sure you would have.
Yeah. I still got my practice flag in the garage.
And you still
I
bring it
have
out
my
every
gloves.
single time you get drunk at a party. And
I do.
Someone's like, "What is that?" And then you're like,
That-
"Oh, look at this."
That 4th of July party.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
also thinking about Halloween when she did that too.
Did I take it out?
Oh, yeah.
already?
Oh yeah, you were in the backyard in the pitch black.
I don't remember that.
I still have dreams because of how much you practice doing color guard, or at least how much we practice. Like, there were times like Saturdays were competition days. Saturday morning, I would be waking up like marching from my sleep, like moving my feet in tempo to the song and dancing and stuff. Because before we get off the bus to do the competition, that we all like basically bow our heads, and you share the bus with some of the color guard as well as some of the marching band, and each of the bands we have like 4 or 5 buses full of kids, and one of the conductors, or what do you call it,
Yeah.
it's not conductor, it's called something else.
What about it? It doesn't matter. Directors,
drum master,
whatever.
or whatever. So directors, they come onto the bus to kind of give you a prep talk, and then we all bow our heads, and then we start going through the actual song.
What was
So
I hit my move goal.
like the clarinets will
that?
kind of hum their song, and all the other instruments will hum theirs. And then as the color guard, since we don't play an instrument, we basically just kind of move our bodies and our hands in the motions of it. So we mentally train ourselves to move
Yeah.
to that music. So till to this day, like if I pull up that song that we did, like, or that show that we did our moves to, it's like I could probably go and do it again.
Yeah.
Even though I did it like when I was 14 or 15.
So Brett, you have a move goal and then a step goal. Is that what Apple does?
The move goal is total calories burned,
Oh.
not just from steps. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you met it just now.
I did.
He sat forward and met his goal.
He did. All he did was scooch.
I think it even counts arm movements too.
Really?
So if you're sitting and
I guess Fitbit, kind of does that, but does it work with other methods?
don't know. A good question.
Oh my God.
I mean, I've never really asked that to anybody who has a smartwatch. Like,
there's
you do.
There's an episode of The League where the guys are all like in a competition of who can move the most.
Oh no!
So Ruxin put his on his wrist, and he would do the deed.
Yeah.
He always won.
You know what I find is funny is that whenever we play those games on Mario Party, I win.
The soda shaking contest and all that stuff with the motion control. Yeah, of course.
Well, good for you, Josh.
Oh, that's funny.
I gotta talk about one other thing I watched.
Okay.
A&E is just started a new series of biography, and that's kind of their original series, but it's about certain wrestlers.
Oh.
And their first premiere episode was Stone Cold. And
Someone was doing something with that already. Was it A&E? There was somebody who was doing that already with each wrestler, and I don't remember who it was. It was another.
There was the Dark Side of the Ring.
Were they doing?
That's on Vice, but that's a lot of
Vice.
old.
No, they're still doing it.
Well, no, but I mean they pick older wrestlers.
Okay.
This one, it was 2 hours long, and I've heard the Stone Cold story before because
all have.
He's done 2 or 3.
Did you read his book?
Documentaries. I did not.
I read his book too, and I've heard his story 1,000 times.
Like I knew pretty much everything, but they had.
I'm sure there might be something we don't know.
Yeah, he actually finally talked about his daughters, which he never has talked about.
I didn't even know he had.
He has 2 daughters.
Kids.
He's been married 4 times. He's on his 4th marriage.
What?
Yeah.
I thought, is he still with Deborah? No.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, that was.
Was that like round 2 or something?
I think that probably was his 3rd, considering when he was married to her. But he's
on his 4th
I think
marriage.
his first wife was the one that helped him get the name Stone Cold,
Mm-hmm.
and that's who his daughters were with. and his current wife he met after wrestling.
Okay.
But anyway, it's great. Like they talk about the whole thing and like his whole career, and they either got Vince interviewed for it, Dwayne Johnson interviewed for it, Triple H, McFoley, Shane.
They get Chris Jericho.
They did not get Jericho.
They should have gotten Jericho.
They did. They got Undertaker. He was in it only a few times, but
that's what's crazy. Undertaker's now interviewing.
Yeah,
because he retired.
Yeah, he's doing it so
Joe Rogan.
Yes, he is.
He was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
That was so good too.
He did
I watched
Hot
it.
Ones.
What?
He did
Hot Ones too.
and he did a really good job. On
Yeah.
Hot
Oh
Ones.
my gosh.
So-
I'm so happy. Okay, I'm happy and not happy that the Undertaker retired because now we get interviews, we get documentaries,
Fine.
we
He's
get the
just opening up
stories,
about
Learn
everything.
him, yeah.
everything.
But it was just a really well done documentary, and A&E is really good at that type of
I've never.
TV.
I guess I've never really looked at A&E as a specific documentary type. I just thought that HBO, Netflix did pretty good. But
They have a series called Biography, and it can be about any celebrity, but
I should
they're
check
doing
that out.
like an 8-episode run of wrestlers.
Do you know who's next?
I think it's Roddy Piper.
Ooh.
That's gonna be a sad story.
Yeah.
Oh my. He's one of the only wrestlers I think, other than Owen Hart, that should have gotten the title. That never did.
Yeah.
Like those are two of the legends.
So
Owen Hart never did. Neither of them. They both went for it,
he
but they never
passed
won.
too soon.
Yeah, both of them. Well, Roddy Piper.
Roddy
I was
was
gonna say
around
Roddy
for a long
Piper
time.
was old.
But Owen passed.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
too
he. I
soon,
mean,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing about Stone Cold to me is, I mean, my favorite wrestler of all time will always be Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure.
had it not been for Stone Cold's absence because of his neck injury, he may never have gotten as big as he did.
Right.
Stone Cold, and they even said this in the documentary, and everybody really knows if you know the Attitude Era, there was a short window where Stone Cold was the most popular wrestler ever.
The crowd
Ever.
was so wild. I mean,
You just need to hear the glass
break,
break.
and he gets a pop like you
you
would
can't
believe.
mimic. It'll never get mimicked again.
No.
Ever.
No.
No one will
No.
ever be this
Yeah, not in this day and age, at least.
Never.
No.
No, I don't think wrestling will ever have it again.
I don't think so
No.
either.
I think it's gone.
I keep
never
thinking
going to be
wrestling's
as
going to
popular.
get the way that it was. I'm like, no, I never.
Never
It's
will.
Never
Not the
gonna
way
do
it was, unless they allow way too
Well,
much.
Nope.
You can
Which-
honestly say you don't want to say this, but not while Vince is still running the show.
Correct. I would say since you were saying your favorite, I'd say mine's Jericho. Like
Really?
I have gone through.
I thought your favorite was
It used to be a lot of other people like Sting or
Kevin Nash.
no. Like I think Chris Jericho really has been my favorite now. Like he's really gone out and done a lot. He's one of the most underrated. Like, but yeah, he always puts on the most fantastic performance.
I should have said before. I am not a wrestling fan. I don't watch.
Well,
it
not
now.
anymore.
Not anymore.
But-
I mean, you were.
You're
So were
You're
we.
in
The
Attitude Era.
Attitude, and I don't remember when the Attitude Era was over, but even the early 2000s was really good too.
The ruthless aggression era up until the PG era happened.
Yeah.
That's about it for me. No.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it was a really, really good documentary. If you get a chance to watch it, you should.
Speaking of documentaries, we watched one called "Why'd You Kill Me"
Mhm.
on
Oh.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about a murder of the gang 5051. Have you ever heard of these guys in LA area? They accidentally killed someone.
Who they
Who
thought was
a
in
gang
another
member.
gang
Oh.
member.
It was just a whole mess, and the documentary I think was a little too.
They made it.
They made it a little too different than it really was. It was a little more just dramatic in the sense that they took over MySpace and did a MySpace profile and found out who did it by doing that. That's
Yeah.
how it was
Wow.
done. The cops did.
Like they basically
the family
did like
did,
they
right?
did what's called like
fishing.
fishing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's basically the start of it. I guess this might have been like one of the first cases to do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess that's why it's so important.
And it was like the cops didn't ask this family to do it. They just had the idea and they're like, well, screw it. I'm just going to act like this person and make a fake MySpace account and get information. And they did.
Well, you gotta think that current detectives or crime or murder solving, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
they have to use social media as part of their
they didn't yet.
investigation.
They didn't at the
No,
at that
it
point.
said like it was like right at the time MySpace was like
I think Facebook was
thing.
just starting. To,
yeah.
I think they mentioned Facebook.
Yeah, I think Facebook was. I think it was 2006.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe they said that it was 2006 when it took place. So MySpace was like a huge thing, and Facebook had just started to, and that wasn't open to the public yet.
Right. So I do remember the big craze about Facebook coming over to the public and all that. But I'm gonna guess that's why it was so important. So that's all I just wanted to mention. It was an interesting documentary. I think they sold it a little bit as far as
that's what I was gonna try to say. It was like oversold it.
I don't know what.
Was it a Netflix original?
Yes.
Did you see how much money they're putting into their originals?
No.
So much, dude.
Billions of dollars in
I can't believe it.
Few years that they're putting into their original content.
Disney's doing a lot. Amazon's doing a lot. Amazon is hoping that Lord of the Rings does not fail them. They're putting so much money.
Wasn't their budget like?
It's like $100 million per episode or something. It's huge.
Like 450 million, I think, for the first season.
It is huge.
As long as it's good, it's gonna be worth it.
The cost of Spider-Man, the first movie, was $139 million.
Mm-hmm.
So if that puts us into perspective, like I have that for when we talk about.
I hope.
I just want to put that into perspective.
I hope that the budget is so high because they're using practical effects.
And if they do use CG, it looks as real as they've been doing. I mean, the way that they've if you were to watch Tenet, you'd be so surprised of where the CG is and isn't, because Christopher Nolan hates using CG.
Right.
Like, and same with Inception. I mean, you were watching that with us, and I mean, all the graphics were like, how did they do this? They can just pull it off these days. Anyways, so moving on.
I had a story to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I heard it on the radio this morning, and I was like, man, it's always made me like, whenever we moved into this house that we're in now, it made me think like, man, I kind of want to like mosey around up in the attic and in the basement in that crawl space, and
no, you don't,
and see if there's anything hiding.
Why would you want to do that?
Hiding as in like treasure.
Oh,
stuff upstairs.
There was a story that came out today of there's actual treasure hunters that people
going into
hire.
attics.
Yeah, that go into old houses and
this house isn't that old, is it?
It was 1950s.
Really?
Yeah.
My parents' house was was built before 1896.
No.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I don't actually.
Yeah.
Have we ever? I don't think we've ever been to Brett's house.
No.
No, we've only been to Andrew's.
Yeah, well, Andrew's. Oh no,
I realize that.
Yeah.
You've been into my aunt and uncle's.
Yeah, that's the other ones. Yeah. So anyway, so the story was treasure hunter helps Massachusetts family find $46,000 that was hidden under their home's floorboards.
Oh my goodness. Well, these are all original floors.
Yes, this whole house is.
We're not ripping up the floors. Don't worry about it.
So, well, that's the thing. So I guess like there was like some kind of hint or something. I was trying to figure out where it was.
Like a treasure thing, like something said that it's going to be there.
As treasure stories go, I was trying to figure out how did they figure it out that there was like a note or something.
Well, some people leave like banknotes or whatever of receipts and say maybe they put it in a certain spot.
Right.
So, well, basically, I guess it said in the article that because I was in and out of where the radio was this morning. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so interesting.
That interesting.
Well, I was busy.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't just sit and listen to the radio. But I caught like the big parts of it, so I was just kind of pulling through it. So there were like, I guess, rumors of a treasure in this person's house. So they had people come out and they had all failed. So they heard about this person who is like an expert. So he came out with his cameras and metal detectors, went up in the attic and said, oh my gosh, I think I found something he uses like a camera and records it. And the YouTube video of him finding it and stuff is on YouTube. And he used like this camera, like he used like a metal detector, went over the floors and went, oh my gosh, there's something here. Went down with his little camera into the floorboard and found a lockbox. He's like, oh my gosh, this has a keyhole in it. So they ripped up the floor and opened it up. And basically it says, as treasure stories go sometimes, the contents turn out to be timeline capsules, pictures, notes, other keepsakes. When you find a hidden lockbox, you're hoping for a hidden fortune. And suspect at least an exciting content. As it turns out, the box contained $5,000 bundles $46,000 in total, all of which were still wrapped in their original bank straps.
Oh, they're ready for the end of times. This
I
person
guess.
who lived there.
Cash was packed to the lid.
Oh,
All denominations were in bundles, and individual bills were dated 1934, 1935, and 1950.
Well, that might be just the value of the cash. It might be the value of the actual cash note itself. Might be even more. Right?
It says that they found like $46,000, and
Yeah.
back in 1958, that was equivalent to $421,603 today.
Interesting.
1950.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
These people found almost $500,000
Someone robbed a bank
in their
then.
attic.
Someone robbed a bank.
Or they didn't trust banks.
Or that too.
Or that. Yeah.
Could be their life savings.
Pretty much. Speaking of old stuff, do you want to, like, as in, like, from the 1930s?
Oh,
Can
sorry.
we talk about the Devil's Arithmetic?
Yes,
Yeah,
one
let's do
sec. It also says
No.
here that along with the cash hidden in this attic, there were antique
6
tins.
weeks in a row
you
now.
cut me off. Antique tins of flour and boxes of nails from the original 1950s house construction. Evidence that even the wealthiest of families being touched by the challenges of the Great Depression. It goes on there, but how did they put $46,000 away during the Great Depression?
Beat me.
Maybe they weren't unemployed.
Maybe.
I don't know. There was nothing about. I was trying to read. How did these people know that there was treasure? They said there was just rumors, and multiple people had come through to like look for this, whatever it is. Like they didn't know it was cash. They didn't know if it was antiques. They didn't know what it was. They just said like there's rumors that there's some kind of fortune in the attic.
Yeah.
And this guy found it.
Cool.
Almost $500,000.
Good for
So
them.
it makes me like want to go like, man, I wonder
At
what's
least
up here.
they have a good savings now.
Because
They
when
don't
we
have to do
when we
anything for
ripped
the
up
rest of
the
their lives.
floor, like downstairs when we ripped up the floor, we were finding like little, remember underneath,
We
like
found
on the wall.
pennies.
No, not pennies. There was like the original floor had like some newspapers and stuff from like that was insulation and stuff from when the house was originally
I don't remember
built.
that.
Yeah, it was like in the crevices that
No,
I
didn't
pulled
do that.
out.
No,
Oh, well, then maybe you weren't there when I was. Maybe it was when Matt was helping me.
probably.
I pulled up a couple boards and I was like,
I
oh my
didn't
gosh,
do-
these are old.
I did none of the flooring.
Oh yeah, you were.
None of
no,
it.
never mind. Yeah, we pulled up. There was like some papers and stuff from like old times.
Were there papers there from old times? I think you said it 3 times
I'm done.
now. Devil's Arithmetic. Why'd you choose it, Alex?
I already told you.
Why?
Because I read the book when I was in 7th or 8th grade. I think it was 8th.
Mhm.
And after that, we watched the Devil's Arithmetic movie,
Which is this?
this, and I just thought it was good.
Yeah. Came out in 1999. A 16-year-old American girl with an apathetic view towards her Jewish family history finds herself pulled through time into 1941 to a small Polish village where the Nazis have just begun their genocidal propaganda, starring Kirsten Dunst, Brittany Murphy, Mimi Rogers, and Paul Freeman. Rotten Tomatoes has
Mimi
critics...
Rogers is in it for like 2 minutes.
Right. Same with Paul Freeman. He doesn't have a
Which
huge...
one's Paul Freeman?
The rabbi.
Okay.
Which I'll discuss who he is. You would recognize him as soon as I name him. Critics did not give this any rating because it was a made-for-TV movie, and you can tell. Like, I had a few makeup issues. Spotted a wig. The acting was subpar.
I regarding the acting, I thought Brittany Murphy did a really good job.
She was great.
Yeah.
Yes. Kirsten Dunst, though, not very good.
She's pretty young in this. What year was this? 99.
99.
So this was
99.
3 years before Spider-Man.
But she'd had a decade in acting at this point.
Yeah.
Because she was in the vampire movie.
And Jumanji.
Interview with Vampire.
Yeah.
And Jumanji.
Yeah. At that point. And Small Soldiers. So 3 big movies at that point.
Oh, maybe she was doing this as just a side thing.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
just
I
saying
mean, it
it
could've
was
been,
written bad. Like, for her. It
I told
it didn't
Josh
help her.
after the movie was done, I'm like, oh my gosh, this could totally be
Yeah, I want it to be remade and
a
done
remade
a little
movie,
bit.
like, and
a
done
little bit
very,
more-
very, like, more realistic.
Yeah.
Maybe a larger budget.
Mhm.
Yes. I didn't look at the budget. Fans gave this a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. I understand what it's all about and the importance of it. But it is what it is. It's just a concentration camp view.
Well, I also chose it just because it's like kids these days and like us, like especially kids like teenagers and young kids. They're not really, the further and further we get away from that kind of history, they're not going to appreciate.
And we don't know how much time they actually spend on World War II in school now.
Exactly.
I remember we
focused a lot on it.
We had quite a bit of time on World War II.
Yes, we did too.
But I think you're right. This is starting to get close to 100 years ago, and people are gonna forget. And I think this was hard to watch for me because you realize, like, wow, they really did this to these people.
Well, that's why I kept pausing in the middle and talking to Josh, and I was like, this happened.
Did you like this movie?
I did.
You did?
I liked it, even though it was hard to watch.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the whole time travel element. I thought it could have been a good story without that part.
Yeah.
But
The
I
book
liked how
is
they tied it
way
up.
better with it.
I like how they brought it back to, like, it was a movie gimmick.
Yeah.
You know how she's her friend, like Rivka is Ava.
So there's a movie
in the book that's different.
There's a movie that came out in the early 90s that is already almost exactly like this one. It is called Split Infinity. Now, this movie is about the Great Depression, and this girl who dies of polio looks exactly like this girl in the 90s, and she goes back in time and warns her uncle of the Great Depression before it happens, and Black Tuesday happens, and she gets put into an insane asylum.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it eventually it turns around and something else happens. She leaves, and it comes back basically the same way this happens.
Watching this movie also just at the beginning, like, it just makes you realize, like, how much, like, simpler, I guess, things were to make people happy. Like,
yeah,
we're all, like,
I was like, what was entertainment? Like,
I know.
like,
She's just like, oh my gosh, here, can I please have some money? And, like, gives her some, gives Rivka some money to take her out, and they go and they get their picture professionally taken, which is on one of those little, like, he's under the hood and, like, snaps it, and then she's like, we'll come back later and pick it up.
Right.
And it's this, black and white. He's like, she's like, oh, my dad has an icon.
Yeah.
I'm like, and this was considered, like, the fun thing to do.
Kind of felt it when the Nazis came into the village. I was like, oof.
Now, full disclosure, because of my rough weekend, I wasn't fully awake to watch this until they started shuffling them to the camp. So
okay,
I was in and out in the beginning. I saw the very beginning where she's at the Seder and she's kind of like, yeah, you can tell me the story later.
Right, exactly. So
and that was the reason. I'm sorry to cut you off. That's the reason why I'm kind of on the aunt side in this. Like, she's like, oh, I would tell you, but you're not gonna appreciate it, and it's gonna make me feel bad.
Right.
Sure.
So Paul Freeman, he is the rabbi. He is Belloc in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a weird connection we have from the Indiana
Oh my gosh, why are we doing
We're
this?
just accidentally doing this film connections.
You had this, and we also watched Spider-Man, so there's
Kirsten Dunst. Yes.
Wow, there's something going on.
He is also Ivan Ooze in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
He is?
Mm-hmm. He's very well makeup.
Yeah, I was
so
going
you
to say,
can't
that's a lot
even
of
tell.
makeup.
But yeah, this is a great film for getting the message across of this actually happening. But me personally, I'll probably never. It's one of those it's kind of like one of those movies
you should watch it.
I think it's made well. If anything, if you're a reader, I would highly suggest you read the book because it's way better. It's way better because what I was telling Josh, like, because what I remember up here in my head, and then when we were watching it, I'm like, man, I remember this differently. Man, I remember that differently. Oh, it's because I was, like, really into the book in school, and because it's so much more detailed, and it's told, I believe, through the eyes of Hannah. Mm-hmm. And the big difference that I remember specifically is, like, in the book, when they get loaded into the trucks, the actual road trip from when they get all piled in on top of each other to when they get to the camp is days. And she talks about the smell of feces and urine and how they're shoved in the dark with no food and water and they don't know where they're going. And then eventually all the crying stops and then she realized she was laying next to a dead woman and like, it's just all really
also
dark.
You said that the path to the gas chamber. Was
Yeah,
longer.
I remember them talking about when at the end where she flip flops Rivka to basically take her place to save her life, and she gets taken by the Nazis because she's quote unquote sick, and it was just that time to get rid of. It's called the Devil's Arithmetic, and they go way more into it.
They didn't even mention the actual arithmetic in this.
They tried to at the very beginning at the.
Well, it's just the numbers of how many arrived versus how many were terminated, right?
Yes,
Correct.
but they make that happen. They're like, oh, you know what? Oh, we brought in like 200 Jews, and because if you saw it, there was like 2 or 3 times where the head person would come in, the head Nazi came in and was like, oh, so how are our numbers today?
Right.
And they were just giving the people in the concentration camp what they thought were jobs. It was really just working them to death until
Sure.
they said, all right, you're done. Let's go put you in a gas chamber or shoot you. And that was the other thing. As she was pulling up in the book, that she actually talks about the pits and stuff full of people. And then at the end where she goes into the gas chamber and they pour the what are they, cyanide?
They're like cyanide capsules.
They're like nitrous gas pills or something.
Which I had no idea that's how it was done.
Yeah.
I thought it was done with like a hose pipe thing. And
Yeah. So it the way it works is it like
hit oxygen, they dissipate into gas.
Yeah, they turn into gas, and then it causes you to asphyxiate, just suffocate, and then go into seizures, and then eventually you can't breathe and you die. It's a very horrible way to die because you're also it's coming.
Oh yeah.
And they said they would always see she talked about seeing the smoke in the trees and stuff, like that's how she knew that there was like another.
Well, they even referenced smoke in the trees that the commandant did.
Yes.
Yeah, so smoke in the trees, and like, oh, there's another group that went. So, but in the book, I remember like they got stripped down, butt naked, and walked for miles butt naked in the cold to the gas chamber.
Yeah.
And then when she was taking off her clothes, I remember they were packing them up. And she realized then that those were the clothes of someone else that had been in the gas chamber this whole time. So it's all like a lot more detailed in the book. So yeah, I mean, the book is amazing. But yeah, it really hits you when you're like 6 million Jews were killed during this time. Just because they were Jewish. That's it.
I don't really want to give this a rating.
I mean, the movie itself, it's a TV movie. It's definitely going to be, it's definitely way better, like I said, as the book. But it's also, I think it's more the concept of it. It's a good, if you're a teenager or a young adult and you're trying to introduce your child to what this is like, and it's not too graphic, this is what you do. There's no blood or anything in it. And
I'd say just give it a watch, for those who haven't seen it. So I don't know where you say this ever came up. You said it came up before. I swear
we talked about it. Like something brought it up.
That's okay.
Well, I don't think it was with us because I had.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just remember it being brought up within the last few weeks in conversation.
So I'm gonna choose Mortal Kombat.
On that note, let's watch Mortal Kombat.
HBO Max's bitch.
I'm gonna go to theater. I think.
Are you?
I want to go to the theater. I think.
Not to change it.
Not really,
but I know what I'm trying to say. Did you see? I read today that Universal is going to put all the Fast and Furious movies in theaters leading up to Fast 9's debut. I thought that's really cool.
And you're going to go watch every one of them?
Well, they're only it's only $5 because I looked into it.
Oh, see, he's already looked into it.
$5 a ticket, and I might go just because those are fun movies to see on the big screen.
They are.
What do you think, Alan?
And it's
movie.
Go back
I was gonna say movie porn,
the first one is like
car porn.
It's theater car porn.
The first one. It starts on Friday.
That's a tough decision.
I haven't seen them in so long.
I think I've only seen 2,
I've
4,
seen all
5,
of them.
and 6 in
I mean,
theaters.
I won't go see 3, but I'll see the rest of them.
Why not? You just
don't
don't like 3?
But Mortal Kombat's making a big splash amongst our Discord, amongst social media. Critics, fans are torn. Some people love it. Some people hate it.
I almost messaged Patrick because I'm like, you're starting to sound like me. You just hate anything.
I know, right?
He hates it to death.
He says it's horrible, but he's also.
But we have 2 other people who have defended the hell out of it against him.
Patrick is very
He's emotional when it comes to his.
I wasn't trying to say
not
that.
say emotional. He's
passionate.
Passionate. There you go. Passionate about his likes. And I understand that.
Oh, I would
and
also-
defends it to a whole because he understands the story.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, he said that he
I
knows
know
like
nothing.
the lore of Mortal Kombat.
I
Which
know nothing.
me, I
neither.
just it's fun. I think it'd be a fun movie for me because
I think we're gonna all like it because of that.
when I remember playing it when it was just on the arcade and at the roller dome, and it just had a stick and like 2 or 4 buttons that you would push and smash and try to kill each other. Like
I've never
that was the fun
seen
part.
a Mortal Kombat movie.
Me neither.
And
Me
really,
neither.
the only game that I played with any kind of regularity was when it came to the 360 for the first time. And it kind of made a big splash for its fatalities and like signature moves, because it would go to that X-ray shot and you
Yes.
could see
Yeah.
the bones breaking.
Yes.
That was the reboot, I think,
It
of
wa-
10
yes.
or
It was before
9?
10. It was strictly just called Mortal Kombat, and on the cover was Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Yeah, I think that was.
Uh-huh.
I think it was, but they actually numbered it in like a parenthesis. I think it was 9.
I don't
I think it was its 9th one.
well, I'm pretty sure it did not have
It was a reboot, but it didn't have a number at all.
Right.
But they'd have considered it.
yes,
Mortal
because
Kombat
the next
Plus.
one was X. which
Yes,
was 10.
so it was the 9th one of
Yes.
the series, but it was an actual rebranding of the franchise, making it
'Cause
very
the-
mature.
Before that one, there hadn't been one for a while.
No.
DC versus Mortal Kombat
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
DC.
Yeah,
So I guess it wasn't that long ago.
but that kind of flopped.
It did. It wasn't very good. It
Right.
wasn't rated M, so it was not
Are you
gory
looking
at
at
all.
the characters?
I'm trying to remember who I played as, and I know
Probably Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero was always.
You said last week you always play. as
It was. I
Sub-Zero.
was trying to look for the female ones, but I was like, I thought she was dressed in yellow, but I can't.
That would have been
find-
Scorpion.
And I'm pretty sure
I think
on
there's a
one
third
of
one,
the
too.
Mortal Kombats on Sony or on the PlayStation, they had a Kratos as a playable character.
I would yeah, I could see that,
That would be
being
cool.
a thing.
Scorpion is not a female.
No. But
I remember playing as a yellow and a blue character, so I'm gonna guess it's Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
I'm not gonna look up anything about this. I want to go in so blind.
I
I don't want to know anything about it. But we're gonna talk about it in depth next
Who
week.
was the one that had like the zing and then he pulled him in?
Scorpion.
That was Scorpion.
Mhm.
Okay,
He
well
has-
then that's the one I
He
played
has a
as.
chain that he throws
Yes,
at
it's
people.
Yeah.
it's like a chain and you get
And
stuck
go
in like
over
your
here.
chest.
And he-
Yes,
he's-
and it says get over
Yeah,
here.
and he wears the yellow.
Yes.
That's
Yeah. Okay, then that's
Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Yeah,
For some
that's not a
reason,
female.
in my
And
head,
on,
it's
on one of the
remembering
games,
it.
when he takes his mask off, it's just a skull.
Oh, I
Oh.
had no idea. So yeah, that's all I have to really say about the.
Can we talk about Spider-Man?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
the trilogy trivia. I got a lot of facts about this. I'm gonna try to breeze through it real fast.
First of all, what's your favorite one?
One.
Don't say one.
It has to be.
I am, because it's your date movie.
It was our first film together.
Go. Putting that aside, visually and story wise, what is it?
It's hard to
Two.
say. That's hard to say. Do you?
Because I want to say 2.
You gonna say 2?
Yeah.
Now, full disclosure, I did not have enough time to watch 3.
Mm.
I started it. I do have 2 trivia questions for it.
Okay,
but
that's enough. That's fine.
I have 5, 5, and 2.
That's okay.
Okay.
But I do have some facts about him. So the first Spider-Man,
Why don't we talk about first what Spider-Mans we're talking about? Just so
the Sam
everybody knows.
Raimi ones.
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Well,
Kirsten
Sam
Dunst.
Raimi did all of them.
Yes, he did.
James Franco, Kirsten Dunst, all of them. Willem Dafoe's in all 3 of them too.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah. So the first one cost 139 million to make, grossed 821 million.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
It was like the first Marvel movie.
X-Men.
Well, okay, but
X-Men 2.
they did not make. You can look that up. I swear they didn't
No.
make it.
Oh, they didn't make as much as
near it.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man had a lot of hype.
Spider-Man
Was
was
sold out when we went to go see it.
Spider-Man was 02 and X2 was 03.
I'm just saying, just as successful, or like the hype was still there. It took 2 decades for this franchise to get off the ground due to lawsuits.
That's what it was.
MGM battled Sony over rights.
Yep, I
They
believe it.
they eventually agreed by swapping rights on 007 and Spider-Man. So
Ooh.
MGM got 007, Sony got Spider-Man. It could have been the other way around.
That's crazy. I didn't
Think
know
about that.
I thought MGM had always had Bond.
No. Warner Brothers also had their hands in 007 too. They did Never Say Never Again.
Okay.
James Cameron was originally sought to direct. Sony wanted them after T2. He wrote the
course.
script. He had it with Electro and Sandman. Then he got sidetracked with True Lies. And
He He did all right.
Yeah, he did.
He did all right.
One of his studios went bankrupt. I'm not sure which one, and then he did Titanic and dropped Spider-Man.
He came out on top.
Isn't that interesting?
I think he did okay.
Mm-hmm. So someone actually died on the set of Spider-Man 1 in 2001.
Really?
The crew were working on the Times Square buildings, the set. They couldn't actually film in Times Square due to
people.
How much they had to do, how much destruction they had to do.
Yeah.
So they had to make a set. One of the crew workers was hit in the head and died.
Oh.
Yep. So different castmates. Heath Ledger, Edward Furlong, Freddie Prinze Jr., Scott Speedman, Colin Farrell, and Ewan McGregor were almost considered Spider-Man.
Wow.
All of them.
I would agree
I think Heath Ledger maybe.
Heath Ledger maybe. And then who else did you say?
Edward Furlong.
No.
Freddie Prinze Jr.,
No.
Scott Speedman,
No.
Colin Farrell, Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor might have, but he was. You need to have Spider-Man. You need to have a baby face. Really, and Heath Ledger had.
At the time,
face.
yes. Then he
At that time,
then
he had a very.
He
nice
glowed
face.
up into a manly jaw. The Twin Towers were supposed to be in the Spider-Man movie. If you remember the trailer that came out.
Yeah.
There was a helicopter. There was a bank heist in the trailer where a helicopter got stuck in between them in a spider web. Yep. The trailer was so good. You need to look it up after this.
It gives me chills
as I was watching it.
It looks. Me too. Wolverine almost had a cameo, but 20th Century Fox couldn't find the Wolverine suit in time, and they also argued over the rights.
Of course.
Yep. Maguire actually caught the food on the tray.
No kidding.
Yep.
That's nuts.
Yep.
For real.
That's not CGI. He caught it. They were magnetized to the board, but he still all caught it.
That's cool.
Nicolas Cage, Liam Neeson, John Travolta, and John Malkovich were almost considered Goblin.
John Malkovich would be good.
Defoe did a great job.
He did.
Oh, yeah. Organic web shooters are not considered the normal Spider-Man.
No, he has contraptions.
Yeah. Well, in this one, it was all organic, and that pissed off a lot of fans. So.
I like the organic, to be honest. I thought, like, once they start doing the Amazing Spider-Man or
yeah, that one. Both of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Who's
the Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. That's
both Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland. Both of their versions.
They have like contraptions and stuff that they need.
The only thing you could argue against organic is that how could his body produce it fast enough?
Right.
How does a spider produce it fast enough?
They don't produce it that fast.
They're not swinging across. They're not.
Look at what they're making to lay their.
But they're not doing it in seconds.
No.
You ever come outside overnight? You're like, damn, look at that web.
Yeah, that took all night.
You don't know that.
Well,
time lapse of a spider.
If you think about him swinging across New York City and how fast it shoots out of his wrist, that's crazy.
That's very crazy. Producer Ian Bryce said the 8-minute Times Square sequence was more complex than the D-Day invasion he created in Saving Private Ryan.
Whoa.
Yeah. Saying that 8-minute sequence was bigger than the opening of Saving Private Ryan. And the opening of Saving Private Ryan was... There was something I actually saw. If you watch it ever again, look to the guy who's bandaging someone up, a medic. He gets shot in the canteen. You see water flow out and then blood.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's that like technically accurate. Like everyone says that the D-Day invasion is the most accurate war movie ever.
Yeah.
Like Saving Private Ryan is the most accurate ever.
Do
you have the facts on the spider web?
Sure do.
How big?
It
How
takes
long?
about 1 hour for the average spider to construct an elaborate web.
That's a long time, actually.
To construct an elaborate web, not psst, psst, psst.
Okay.
I spit everywhere.
That's all right.
It says that an orb web is a series. Oh wait, sorry.
It's okay. An hour.
An hour. And then it says, I also asked, do spiders make a new web every day? Some spiders build new webs every day. Other spiders repair their damaged webs, but most spiders aren't big on wasting their silk material. They often eat the damaged webs so they can recycle it into new webs later on.
You don't see
Parker. So I did not know that.
Yes, you don't see him munching on his...
It says that spiders can consume their own webs. They are very conservative creatures. Their consumed webs may even have a coating of aerial plankton. Web weaving spiders might also run short of silk due to lack of water.
Well,
So-
the only time he ran short of Webb is when he was doubting himself.
And his relationship with Mary Jane. One more fact here about Goblin and Spidey, and then we can do our Spider-Man 1 questions. Green Goblin's costume consisted of 580 pieces and took 30 minutes to put on.
Oh, that's it? 580 pieces only took a half an hour?
Well, he had probably like 8 hands on him at times, like just going crazy.
Crew, I'm sure.
Due to his green color, he had to be shot in front of a blue screen. And due to Spidey's
red,
he had to be shot in front of a green screen.
Yep.
And both of their shots were never in the same thing unless
I was just going to say, how'd they do that then?
They did not. They were all separate.
Well, the only time they're really together
is on top of
the two fight scenes.
the building.
Fight scene in the burning building.
And on top.
And then when he's making his proposal.
Yes. Yep. And then you can kind of see them separate most of the time.
It's, camera cut wise.
Yes. So.
Okay, you want some trivia?
Yeah, let's trivia.
Now, I did break.
This is just one, right? That you talked about.
First one.
Yeah.
I did break my method because I really had to do this quick, and I was looking for good questions.
Now, Alex and I did not watch 1.
I figured you didn't because you said you watched 2, and we're gonna watch 3, and I'm sure you know 1.
We did 2
I'm
and
gonna
3.
try to.
I want to see
what I
how
can do
well,
on
like
1.
we decided we want to see how well we really know 1,
Because I
like
watched
compared
it
to what you're
so
gonna ask.
Much. So.
And if you don't ask 2 of these questions, I'm gonna ask them to you to see if you know.
You know them?
No.
Oh.
I'm still trying to guess.
Okay, question number 1. Who is ready?
What?
What?
Who is ready?
Who is ready?
I'm ready.
What? Is that a name?
No, I'm asking you, who is ready?
I have no idea what he's asking.
Am I?
When I say it, you're gonna be like,
Am I having a stroke?
Bonesaw is
Oh my god!
You were about to say. I was like, "Are you talking about the wrestling match?"
I was like, I'm ready. Why? Are
I
you
knew it, and that's Macho Man Randy Savage.
Bonesaw is
ready.
That's a great line.
ready? It is.
What does Dr. Strom want to do with the human performance enhancer?
I got it.
Good.
He wants to take it back to formula.
Correct.
Now, did
Back
you
to formula.
this? One crazy. Oh, I'll wait till you have this trivia. Then I'll talk about the fact about the first Spider-Man.
How short was Mary Jane's drawer?
Oh.
You're
Excuse me, Miss Watson.
yeah.
$4.
$2?
Add them together.
Oh, $6.
Was it 6?
Huh?
I knew it wasn't a huge amount. I just remember you're so many dollars short. That's twice this week or
Don't
something.
roll your eyes at me.
Yes. Okay, Enrique.
How much was the cheeseburger?
Okay, Enrique, I get you.
How much was the cheeseburger?
Cheeseburger.
When you asked her out on a date.
Oh, $7.84.
Yes.
Up to $7.84. Okay. What does Jameson want every time someone says Green Goblin?
$1. No, it's a nickel. No, it's $1.
Alex?
$1? I don't know. I don't remember.
A quarter.
Quarter. I knew it was just a quick. I love him.
How's the line go?
I want a quarter every time everyone says it.
Yeah.
Green Goblin.
How
I love
did
his character.
how did Peter say that he cut his arm?
A motorcycle or a hold on. He even says it slowly. He nicked it on it was somebody riding a motorcycle or a bicycle or something.
Uh-huh. You're
Close
close.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a bike messenger.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
And that was trivia.
For that one.
Okay, can we ask it now?
No,
See if he
first of
knows?
all, okay, you go ahead. Yeah.
How many super spiders are there?
Don't they say several hundred species? Or they say several hundred species of spiders.
Have been brought into these.
And is it
How many super spiders
Oh,
brought into
'cause then-
these specific
is
super spiders?
Is it 13 total, but there's one missing, so there's 12?
It's 14.
Is it 14? Did you look it up?
I'll look it up.
We were trying to think if it was 13 or 14. We don't remember. We know
I
it
thought
was a
you
teen.
remembered that.
No, we thought it was. We knew it was a teen. I was like, Brett's gonna ask us that. She goes, because I think she goes, there's 13. There's one missing.
One missing. Is it? Oh crap! I can't let them know that we're missing one. They must be testing that.
How many, Josh?
It's 14.
It's 14.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so what was the other question?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Before I went and saw the first Spider-Man, I played the video game, and I played it all the way through. They had the actual video game video game out.
Mm-hmm.
I was quoting the lines while Alex was sitting next to me.
While
She
you're
thought
playing
I
as
thought
we
you'd
were
already
watching
seen
it.
the movie.
So you played the game before the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Alex was like, how have you seen this already? I was already quoting Uncle Ben's lines.
Yeah. While we were sitting next to each other.
So
I played the first game a little bit, but the second one I played quite a bit more.
I hear that still holds up as one of the best video games too, because you can explore New
I
York.
actually have it,
Yeah?
and the web swinging is really good, but I didn't go very far with the story.
Okay. So Spider-Man 2 cost $200 million to make.
Okay.
Made $789.
Made less than one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Only by like 40 million.
That's crazy. Because it's just, I think it takes what one did and just makes it better. On almost every level.
Maguire almost had to be replaced because he had a back injury.
I
from
do remember that.
Seabiscuit.
Yep.
Jake Gyllenhaal almost filled in.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be darned.
Yep.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
I remember hearing about that.
Alfred Molina worked with an extensive team of technicians to bring his costume to life, including one operator per tentacle.
Did Stan Winston have anything to do with the tentacles?
I didn't see
I
that.
think you said no.
I didn't
I'm
see
pretty
that.
sure that you had said that. Like, I think you looked that up.
They each had nicknames.
Yep. Larry,
Harry, Mo, and Flo. The female Flo being operated by an actual female, and that tentacle was actually, they all had their own personalities. Everyone kind of knew that, but it never really came to light of what was what. The female did all of the light tasks, like moving sunglasses and the beverages.
And then holding.
And the match for the cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The female did that. So that's how they all had their own personalities. The female tentacle was more dainty, did the smaller tasks.
It's funny because when you watch these in HD, you can see when it's a CGI character in the fights, and it's not bad, but it's like, oof, that almost looks like a video game.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. The alley where Parker drops his suit off is the same alley as the kiss.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
The actor who tells Parker about the trapped child also throws trash at the Goblin in One.
Huh?
Same actor. Considered one of the best superhero movies of all time. Actually, most critics and fans agree it's one of the top 5.
I
if
remember
not top
working
2.
in electronics when it came out, and this customer comes in like the day it's released. He's like, "Is this any good?" And my boss was kind of talking to him about it, and they had a quote from one of the reviewers that says best superhero movie of all time, and he read that to him, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, seems like
Why
it.
don't you tell him the fun fact about Tobey Maguire getting hit
What?
on set? How he gets hit? How he has someone bumps into him and he drops all of his papers?
Oh, all the when he's on college campus, those are the directors and producers. They're
Oh,
walking by,
him.
no,
Yeah.
walking by and hitting him with the luggage
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
those are the
Backpack.
Yes, they actually did that.
So Doc Ock and the train sequence were both supposed to be in the first movie. So they wanted 2 big villains.
That would have been too much.
And it was.
Well, just like 3 was.
Well, I mean, 3 was very, very plot heavy, and
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
Well, that's what happens when you have 2 villains per movie. You don't give the respect to one of them.
Mhm.
Unless it's a 3-hour movie.
Like 1 and 2 kind of only
Like-
had one villain, but
like
I mean,
Snyder.
Harry was there the whole time.
Look what Nolan did to Two-Face in Dark Knight. Did you
Kinda
feel like
just-
he was shorted? I don't think
Absol-
so.
Oh, yeah. I concentrated
thought-
way more.
For what?
I thought
for
there could have been more.
the
for him,
amount of
but-
time he was on screen, you saw Two-Face. and
You
it
did.
was
You
good.
did. I mean, you saw 2 sides of Harvey Dent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what you needed to do. That was the purpose of it. Not a lot of people took it that way. Doc was actually supposed to be in the love triangle with Mary Jane and Parker.
Ew.
Isn't that messed up? It's really messed up. The hospital scene was an homage to Raimi's horror movies, as you can kind of tell. It's one of the
So
scariest
that was
yeah.
like
scenes.
so dark, by the way. I was gonna bring that up if you didn't. Like, that was like scary.
No music was played. It was all about the
And then
tentacles
you had
killing
all
everybody.
4 tentacles in the dude's face on the
Yes.
screen.
Yeah, all up, and had like the views of the tentacles and the same views that Sam Raimi does in all of his horror movies. Apparently, he does the views of the creature or whatever.
Mhm.
Almost every shot made it into the film. There is no real director's cut for Spider-Man 2.
Wow.
So it was practically perfectly put together. So that's all I got for 2. Got some trivia.
Okay, I do.
This is one of my favorites. So like 2 and 1 are very tied neck and neck for perfect for me. So
How many blocks does Peter have to go to make his pizza delivery?
7.
42.
42.
Now I did the math.
Or is it in 7 minutes?
That's a long
It's
time.
7 miles.
Yeah,
Or
that's
7. There's a number 7 in there. What is it?
It's 7 miles.
7 minutes to go 42 blocks.
That.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No, it's
there.
not
I
7
knew.
miles.
I got half
It's,
right.
It's 5 miles. I'm sorry.
42 blocks for a New York pizza delivery seems a long way.
It
So
does.
we looked it up though.
It's not that far. It's within a delivery range,
Yeah.
but it would take a long time. 29 minutes is not.
But if
You can't do it.
Yeah.
Impossible.
I have never heard of a real pizza place having a 30-minute or you don't pay rule.
Normally it's an hour for most
I'm gonna
people
say,
that
I
would
think
have
it's
that
an
kind of
hour.
limit. But I've never heard of a 30.
And even if it would happen to take 30 minutes, I wouldn't say I'm not going to pay for that because I still have pizza. You know, I paid for this.
Yeah,
You
but
brought
did
it
you
to me.
see that
She was a bitch.
girl's face?
Yeah, she was a bitch.
You know who that actress is, right?
I recognized her, but I couldn't place her.
I don't. Let me look up her name.
You'll never
I'm sorry.
find it.
Why? Why would I
Because
not?
it was a 30-second.
I think it's not Emily Blunt.
30-second scene in a movie from 20 years ago.
It's not Emily Blunt. You know, I can just do a real simple search here. Who was the girl who wouldn't buy the pizza?
What's the next question?
Mm-hmm.
There it is. What is the play Mary Jane is starring in?
Man, I knew you were gonna ask that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know the name of the play.
I remember it. Oh. As soon as you say it, I'm gonna remember it.
I have no idea
I
what
don't-
it's called. I'll be honest. I have no idea. I don't remember.
The importance of
The
being
importance
earnest.
of being earnest.
Yep. Wouldn't
Yep,
have said it.
I knew that. I
I even looked at the posters and her face and stuff, and I'm like, he's probably gonna ask that, but no, didn't care.
Who wouldn't buy the pizza? Spider-Man 2. Emily Deschanel.
Is that Zoe's relation?
Let me look her up. Let me see what other movie she's in.
Well, you're right about Emily.
Yeah, I thought it was Emily Blunt, but I'm wrong. What's
the
next question?
What 3 names does Hoffman come up for Octavius?
One? What about Dr. Octopus?
Well,
Which one?
mm-hmm. Bones. She's in Bones.
Bones. Yep, I see it now.
Okay. What are the other ones, Josh? Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
But
is
it's
one
been
of them.
taken.
That's 2. That's pretty good. But
But
it's been taken. And honestly, when I saw this movie, I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea who Doctor Strange was.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I saw it, no, I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's good, but it's been taken. I don't know what the third one is. What's the third one? Dr. Octopus, Doctor Strange.
Doc.
So you're missing the second one that he says.
Mr. Oh, it's Mr. something.
No.
Is it Doctor something?
No.
What
No.
is it?
Science Squid.
Science
Oh,
Squid.
yeah.
That's what it is. Science Squid. Yes.
All right, let's see.
Jameson's like.
What was the
best.
answer to the question Connors asks in his lecture that Peter answers?
0.27 joules or something. I don't know. Some kind of electricity thing.
You're sort of close, Josh.
She wanted to remember this, so I did not. But I remember the
It's
math.
like 0.27 or 0.02 or something like that. What is it?
0.23 electron volts.
Yeah,
Electron
see?
volts.
I'm going to give it to me. I'm going to give it because I was like, it's electricity and it's 0.2 something.
Close.
How much is crime up without Spider-Man?
75%.
Correct.
That's a lot of percentage.
So I
for
remember that and I looked at
crime.
Josh and I'm like, holy shit. Is everyone killing people?
You say it's got to be like petty crime.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay, that is it for 2.
For Spider-Man 3.
Wait, I got a question for him.
Okay.
So, what's the head of the news person say? What's his name?
Jameson?
Yes. So he goes, when Spider-Man retires, like he's not gone for a while, and he's looking up at the costume. He's like, what does he call him?
Oh boy.
It's like, what do I?
He calls him so many things.
He's a menace. He's a thief.
I don't know what.
You said it.
No.
Thief?
Oh, I was saying them.
You said it.
I was saying the two things.
He's just like he looks up and he's like man,
Because he's all sad and
he's
then
all
he
sad and
gets
he's gone.
away.
He's a and he grabs it. He's a thief.
I was strung out by his web.
That was just like the funniest line. He just goes right back into it.
JK is so good in this movie.
I love it.
In all of them.
Wait, which movie is it where the blood pressure? Is that 2?
That's 3.
That's 3?
That's 3, yeah.
It's time to take your blood pressure.
You know that's Elizabeth Banks?
Yes, I know who that is.
I thought so.
Yeah, that's who the chick is.
Her
Wait,
hair-
before she was famous?
Her hair is terrible.
It's a terrible wig.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Well, if you watch, you probably never will, but I was watching Ant-Man, and Evangeline Lilly's freaking wig that she wears in that movie is awful. It's terrible. Spider-Man 3, probably like the most studio-driven. Well, no, Justice League is one of the most studio-driven.
Prior to
movies.
Justice League.
Prior to Justice League, this one was torn to shreds via the fans because of how bloated this movie was. And I watched it again. Yes,
It's cringy.
it's very cringy
I
and
didn't.
bloated.
I didn't hate it when I first saw it, but
Same.
I went back to it several years later. I'm like, man, this isn't too good.
Yeah, I bought it for
It's
a couple
cringy.
bucks out of the dollar bin just so I could complete the trilogy. The cost it took to make it was $258 to $350 million. There was no definitive answer. That's expensive.
It's probably
Yeah,
just
it
because
is.
of Venom
Did
But
it
it-
make money?
and the sand person.
It made a lot of
It
money.
made $895 million
So it made the most
Really?
out of all 3, and it was the worst one.
because Venom's marketing.
Because it was probably
Well,
Venom.
and they
yeah.
had 2 really good movies, so why wouldn't you go see them?
Right,
Didn't
right.
He doesn't even call himself Venom. And
No, he does not.
they call him the Black Spider-Man. That's it.
They don't really give him a name.
They don't ever say Venom.
So I guess it's kind of taken. He's
They
not
do say
really
that
Venom.
it's a symbiote, though.
But it is Eddie Brock with the symbiote,
Yes.
so that is.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Venom.
So I mean that is Venom, but
Yeah.
they killed him.
And Venom, I remember how excited I was. I almost broke your finger.
No. So he didn't break my finger. So I will always
Right.
remember seeing this in the theater because Venom is like Josh's favorite, one of your favorites.
I was really hyped for him.
He was so hyped that I remember sitting in the theater, and then when we know it's time when Peter's the bell in the tower is going off and the symbiote's getting off of Peter and it's dripping down onto Eddie, and he's like, oh my god, it's gonna happen. And he takes his hand when he's turning into Venom, takes his hand and takes my hand, puts it on Josh, puts it on his chest, and Josh's heart rate's like, do, 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 do. He's like,
really
he's
excited.
like, Venom's here, yeah, hooray, the movie's gonna be great. And then at the end, Josh like slams his hands down. He's like, that sucked.
Yeah, I was really mad.
He's like,
Maybe
where the
because
hell?
I wanted an after credit scene or something where Venom comes back and it's like a tease for 4.
Like
or
you get
something.
like how many minutes of on screen of Venom?
Not much.
Like 3 whole minutes.
Like I've seen the actual Venom creature.
Seeing him not the face,
not
the actual
not
face.
Topher Gracie's face.
not Topher Grace,
Right.
the actual Venom face.
Very,
It's like
very
3
few.
minutes.
Yeah.
But you liked Venom the movie, right?
It's fine.
It's fine. I don't think it was.
I didn't like what's her name in it? His girl.
Yeah, she was bad.
Yeah. She's a great actress. It made no
It
sense.
was bad casting.
Yeah. But Spider-Man 3 was almost split into 2 movies. I would have liked that more, probably, given more.
If it would have given
Venom.
more Venom in a better way.
Better
then
way, yeah.
I didn't
sure.
care for the Sandman.
Sandman.
He was actually supposed to be the main villain, just him and Hobgoblin, just those 2. Bryce Dallas Howard was actually pregnant.
That was almost a question. Who plays
Gwen Stacy. Yeah, she did her own stunts.
Hmm.
All of them when she was on that
On
that building
the building
set.
hanging down.
Yeah, well, which of course green screen.
Obviously.
Yeah. Scarlett Johansson and Elisha Cuthbert were considered for Gwen Stacy, which I would have liked both of those
either
more.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of.
She
You don't
didn't
like
have
her?
a big role.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
She meant to because Gwen Stacy is actually a
Big-
very big
yeah,
role in
yeah.
Spider-Man. Raimi did not want Venom in this one. The studio intervened, and you can tell.
Studio intervened. Yeah.
They were like, the studio's like,
It's like we gotta bring in more people.
Gotta bring in-
people
yeah.
want Venom.
well, if you think about it, would you have gone to see it if it was just Sandman?
Probably, but
Just
it
a
wouldn't
little
have
bit of
got the
Hobbs.
hype.
Just based on what the first 2 were, I don't think there was any way I was not gonna see the third.
Okay, that's fair to say, I guess. Yeah.
It wouldn't have gotten the hype
Um,
nearly as much.
One last fact here about the Spider-Man Spideyverse. Cliff Robertson, who played Uncle Ben, this was his last film, Spider-Man 3. So it's a great way for him to close it out.
Nice.
Never see him in any other role.
No, Rosemary Harris is still alive.
What?
Yeah.
She also did a lot of her own stunts.
Yeah.
70 years old.
She's a great actress.
In like the first. Yeah, she is.
You're talking about
Every single quote she does gives me chills.
It makes
every
like,
single conversation.
She makes the perfect Aunt May, like
Yes.
the perfect grandma.
Well,
So thinking about the way things are now with Andrew Garfield's character, or not?
Yes.
No, not
Well, Andrew Garfield had Sally Field.
not her.
There's so many.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Oh, we have 3 Spider-Mans in our generation, man.
So
Give
who's
me a
Tom
minute.
Holland's Aunt May?
I don't know because I don't remember.
Okay,
You know who it is.
I
We
only
just
saw
watched
it
them.
once.
We just watched them. We just watched it. I have her name, and people are yelling at us.
Oh my
right now.
god! Now I had it, and then you guys were talking, and now I lost it.
She was in my cousin Vinny.
My cousin Vinny, she got the
Marissa
Oscar.
Tomei.
Marissa
Tomei.
Tomei.
For God's sake.
My god. You guys got
Excuse
off on a
me?
tangent here.
I've been watching so many Spider-Mans.
So,
I'm
anyways, I
stuck
think
in-
going from old like Aunt May to her was really difficult, but Marissa Tomei does a really good job.
She does.
She made up for it.
She does. She's a different type.
That
Yeah.
speech that she gives when she convinces Peter to be Spider-Man again is a great.
The
line of
hero in all of
dialogue.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gives me chills.
It's a great.
The one where
section of dialogue.
that speech where she's in her driveway.
Yeah.
And then there's one in the third one where she's talking about getting married and
Yep, at
being.
the beginning, devoting yourself to your
Mhm.
wife's needs before your own.
Mm-hmm.
She's such a great speech. Like the speech.
She was
Such
born
a good
in
old soul.
27.
Yeah. Wow.
27.
Did you have any? You have the questions?
Yeah, I got 2.
Okay.
What is the name of the play that Mary Jane is starring in?
My gosh, Brett. I don't know. Spider-Man,
No,
3.
she.
which is half
you
right.
You see the board and they changed the name, but I'm not gonna remember.
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. What is it?
Manhattan Memories.
Sure. Yep.
I would have remembered the other one more than this one.
Yeah. Well, I've heard of The Importance of Being Earnest.
Me
I have
too.
not heard of
Me
it.
too. I don't know why I have, but I just have.
What prison did Flint Marko break out of? And I ask this because this is like a Spider-Man universe known name,
Arkham.
And that's Batman.
right?
I don't
only
know
of Arkham
Spider-Man
Asylum.
prison system.
I don't know it.
You know, actually, now that I think about this, I think this might be a real prison because
Oh,
I think I've heard of it before. But Rikers.
okay. Yeah, me too. I have heard of that, and I actually think it is. And Stan Lee wanted to have Spider-Man be as real based. You know,
Yeah.
DC made up all their
I think
cities.
it's just in New York. I think it's a prison in New York.
So out of the Spideyverse, I mean, you never saw. Did you see any of the amazing ones with Andrew Garfield? You did not.
I actually thought it was pretty good, to be honest.
He's
yeah.
a douchebag. But if you think about it, if you watch Spider-Man 3, Peter Parker is the worst human being. Makes out with his classmate, who he's never
Oh my
mentioned.
God, that was horrible.
Well, he
As
does the
Spider-Man.
upside down kiss, which is their
Which is him and Mary Jane. Yeah.
That's their thing.
Like Josh, looked at it and he's like, "What a dumbass!"
He's kind of a dense boyfriend who does the stupid thing.
He was written so bad for
Like,
Spider-Man 3.
Everything
Like
was
as the
written
worst
so
person.
badly.
And I see it. It's like, how could he think he could have his cake and eat it too?
He was on a major confidence high at the beginning of that movie.
Yep.
Because everybody likes Spider-Man now; they don't hate him.
Right.
And he had a steady girlfriend that he loved.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the top of his class at the university, so he was just on cloud nine.
So I brought this up with Josh too because you talked about him kissing Gwen, right? Just
Yeah.
now. So I brought this up with him, and I might have been thinking way too deeply on it. So I can see another arguing point for MJ to bring up with him that wasn't brought up, because if I was MJ, this is what I would have said. Oh, so anyway, so I saw you up there kissing Gwen in public, but you won't kiss me in public because we had this big conversation that we can't be together because you're enemies, even if they had the slightest bit of knowledge, knowing that you had a love in your life, like, kissing someone.
It's called leverage.
Yeah, any bit of leverage whatsoever, that it would put me in harm's way. So you're just throwing Gwen under the bus instead of me? Okay, fine, I guess I appreciate that.
At the same time, an enemy could argue that any innocent civilian is leverage because
Yes.
of what Spider-Man is.
So Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man has no reason for him not to be with Mary Jane at that point.
Right.
So he is just an a dumbass all around.
Like it made my blood boil. Like
Well,
her, like
and not to
watching
mention the
him.
fact that Goblin captures Aunt May.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's his
That's
love,
true.
like his loved ones are all.
And he says that they're the people I love are always going to be the ones that pay.
Mhm.
Yep. So, what do you want to do for the next trilogy? I mean, do you want to think on it?
I think
I'll
we
think
think
on
on it.
Okay. Wow, Alex.
I'm just burnt out right now with trilogies.
We gotta talk about the fan question, because we were talking about
Yeah, we're running out of time.
book to screen adaptations. Yeah, we're really getting there. I made a quick little Smurfs meme about Disney and their how they Disneyfy all of their adaptations. I thought it was pretty funny.
Well, that's exactly right, because I've read things about how the original stories to a lot of Disney movies are
Really dark.
horrible.
Yeah, oh my god.
Horrible as in dark and disturbing.
They don't have a good ending to them.
Yeah.
Normally. So the like the Little Mermaid, for example, she's always in pain when she walks because she doesn't have legs. Her fins are split.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like one of the stepsisters in Cinderella cuts her own toe
They
off.
cut their toes off to fit into the glass
shoe.
slipper. Like,
Yep.
oh my! And those are just like the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more out there.
The tip, they cut their toes off.
Yes.
And,
What's your favorite book to screen adaptation?
so
I knew your list was going to be kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I have to go with Jurassic Park because really, it may not be the only book that I've read that's turned into a movie, but it's the only one that I remember. But there are lots of books that I would like to read because they were turned into movies that I liked.
Right. And I think that's what I'm going to kind of answer in the same sense. There are ones that I do like that are book adaptations, like Lord of the Rings, of course.
Sure.
Of course. And I mean, none of us really have the time to read those.
Right.
Those books are thick. I got to say The Lost World because you said you like Jurassic Park. I like The Lost World. I also like Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So, but I've never read the Harry Potter series. I should.
More movies than you think come from books.
They do.
What
Oh my
did
god,
you-
I have a
what do
list
you
of the
think-
best ones.
What do you think? Because you did audiobooks of
The Hunger Games.
the Hunger Games. What did you think about that, though?
Well, one of our fans, Patrick's wife Crystal, said that she liked the Hunger Games. And she said it on
Because I
Discord.
remember you pointing out certain things. You're like, oh, this was way bigger in the book.
The first movie of the Hunger Games was not. It was inspired by the Hunger Games
So,
book, basically.
which movie is the best?
The closest?
The closest.
For anything after that, 2, 3, 4, they're all like those are the closest to the books.
Mhm.
1, no, you have no idea what happens outside of the arena, and you see it in the movie, and I don't like it.
Cousin Andrew told me I should watch the Hunger Games.
You never seen them?
You've
Nope.
never seen them?
Oh,
Oh, they're really good.
they are. They are.
And
good.
I've never read the books at all, and I think
You
they're
can
good.
tell when she learned how to act.
Yes.
Jennifer Lawrence.
But yeah,
Yes.
because between 1 and 2, you see it.
Yeah.
In 1, she's
Well,
so bad.
She's pretty good.
Oh, she's a good
Yeah.
actress.
She's a
yes.
great actress now, but it's like
You
kind
can see where she learned,
Yeah.
like where she was.
Like she
becoming.
definitely picked up some tips from someone.
Yeah.
Did
Yes.
did you guys ever see Joy?
No.
No.
She's really good in that.
Okay.
Anyway,
What's your favorite book to film, Alex?
The only one I can think of.
I mean, other than what we just watched.
The only one I can think. Well, no, the one that we just watched is a horrible adaptation from it. Like I just spent most of the time telling you how much better. Most of the time, the books are better because
Yes.
your mind can.
Make it up.
and
Make it up.
The author doesn't have a huge budget to meet.
Or a studio to.
Or a
True.
studio, or
Actors.
so they write. So yeah, instead of making a movie, they write a book. The only one I could think of that we watched was I'm going to agree with Lord of the Rings, but Holes.
Yes. Holes. That's a good book. That's a great movie all around.
So there's huge parts in the movie that are completely different than the book and vice versa, but makes me really want to watch Holes.
Yes, I like
Is that
that
on
one.
Disney Plus?
I don't
I think
know.
it
It
is.
should be. It's a Disney movie, so.
I thought that was a really good movie.
Mhm.
Especially like it just so happened to come out the year that we were in. I want to say it was 8th grade again.
When
Like
you're reading it.
we were reading it in 8th grade, and it was like towards the end of 8th grade, Holes came out, and they're like, "Well, do you guys want to do a field trip and we go see the movie?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." And we went and saw the movie.
So we got some questions on answers on Discord.
Which,
Our-
by the way, Holes is a great book.
Yeah. So I said before, Patrick's wife, she said the Hunger Games. They did such a good job keeping the story as close to the book as possible, especially catching fire, which was really that's the one I was saying. And then Black Star, aka Brig, who's one of our fans and friends that have been playing with us on Twitch. He said the Martian. It's one of the few movies that barely left anything out of the movie, and that was in the book.
That would be one that I would love to watch, but at the same time, I don't know if I want the movie to follow the book exactly, because that's part of the reason why you might read the book
An
and
adaptation.
see how much better or not better, but how much more there is than the movie, because they can't put everything from the book into the movie.
Well, and the way
because there's not enough time.
It's also your imagination. What
Exactly,
you
yes.
see in your head.
How you interpret
it. For instance, like the only real more recent book that I read and watched the movie to was 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh yeah.
And there is no way in hell that they are going to make a movie and release it for people to be able to watch it to be as graphic as that novel is.
I mean, unless it's an adult film.
Right.
Oh, I know, but like,
But I mean,
it would have to be released on a porn site.
Yeah. Well,
But it would not be good because
HBO.
No, I'm serious. You would have to get the top actors and actresses and stuff signed on to agree to it.
A triple X
for it to be
production.
a great movie, because it is a great book. I know that everyone's like, oh, it's a sexual book. Yeah, but it's a great book. That's like the more recent one anyway.
I got one more on Discord here. That's Rob. He says The Princess Bride. It's a good one. Yeah. You didn't know that's a book?
Is it? I didn't
It's a
know
book.
it is a real book.
Mm-hmm. It's a book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a list here as well. So when you get to the rest of yours, I'm going to say other adaptations up on the top that people would say. So yeah, you can get Instagram.
Patrick from Paranormal Pativity Podcast.
What's he say?
He said The Neverending Story.
Oh my
He
God.
said J.K. Brett. He said I would have to say the It movies, both the old and the new versions. The Shining. Even though the book and the movie do a few things differently, Jack Nicholson brought Jack Torrance to life for me.
Stephen
So
King.
I didn't even think about the Stephen King books.
Yeah.
But I've never read. I don't think I've ever read any of them before.
Got a couple on Facebook here. Both of them saying the same thing. Tanith and Amy saying they'd have to say the Harry Potter series.
Well, I know Tanith would say that because she's a hardcore Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
Not a surprise for anybody to pick those.
Right. For those who have actually read them and decide which ones are great. Harry Potter's good.
The JMT podcast.
Try that.
They say there have been some really good ones, but my favorite would have to be Jaws.
I forgot that's a book. Yep.
Wow.
I think Michael Crichton did that, didn't he?
I don't know.
Terrible Terror podcast.
Said it.
The Shining.
Yeah.
I guess I'm like I totally forgot about horror movies. I guess
Because you just don't think about those being a good.
Oh, and this just in 18 seconds ago.
18 seconds ago. Lucky you just did it.
# Blackout podcast.
Shout out to you guys.
I believe they are the ones that are celebrating 5 years as well.
Mhm.
Let me just make sure to be. I'm almost positive they were the ones that have the 5-year anniversary.
Yeah.
But either way, they said The Outsiders.
Oh, I forgot about The Outsiders.
Yep, The Outsiders, Cycle of the Werewolf, Silver Bullet, Fight Club.
And Fight Club. Yep.
Fight Club was a book?
So I'm gonna list.
I didn't know that.
I'm gonna
one.
list some of the I actually looked up what's the best movies based on books of all time. There's an actual list here. I'm gonna list off a few here of what has not been mentioned. To Kill a Mockingbird, The Godfather, The Color Purple.
Oh, The Color Purple. That's a great movie.
Forrest Gump.
That's a book?
Mm-hmm. There's an actual sequel book where he I think he goes to the moon or something. I don't know. He does something. I don't. It's far fetched. It's way out of. It's weird. The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Goodfellas.
Yeah.
The book was originally titled Wise Guy.
Right.
MASH. The Exorcist. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's a great movie.
The Silence of the Lambs. And American Psycho. So, yeah.
Oh, yes, it would be. So, yes, happy 5-year anniversary to # Blackout Podcast. They had tagged us in their 5-year post on Instagram.
Right on. We got to get out of here. We pushed our episode. So, unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
No.
Plug it.
I have an interesting fact for you, though, Brett, that you'll love.
What?
Just a few NASA things.
Oh my God.
The NASA rover made breathable oxygen on Mars, just so you know.
Breathe. Okay.
And
what are they gonna do with it? Breathe.
I'm not telling you.
Who's gonna breathe it?
I'm not going into it because they're quick little things. NASA's Mars helicopter that we talked about.
Yes.
Guess what?
It
It-
crashed.
No, it did a second flight and it soared higher and longer. I can't tell you how long, but I'm just doing this to piss you off.
Okay, Alex, plug your Twitch.
All right, twitch.tv/cute_kitty, KUTE_KITTI. I stream on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings. Right now, we are elbow deep in season 3 of Call of Duty
Yes,
Black
we are.
Ops Cold War.
We were gonna pass on it, but we looked at the season pass.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty good.
It's pretty good.
So, and the new maps, I'm really enjoying, to be honest. Like, it's definitely a reliever, because we were kind of getting a very repetitive, down in the dumps kind of feeling, and they're good.
Good refresher.
They're good refreshers.
Yeah.
And one of them is
Yamantau.
Yep, is that the Summit one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Summit, which was one of my favorite Black Ops maps.
Yep.
And then we're also looking into on your, well, I guess you can plug your stream, but
Yeah.
I'm still looking to push into Destiny. I'm still looking to push into I want to get back into Halo one night. I want to do something different every night, but I think once we get Josh's set up, we'll have a better schedule where we're able to do that together.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And if you want to follow me on Twitch, it is twitch.tv/Mr. L. That's MISTERL. I stream Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday morning for sure, and then other times are just off times in the mornings. You just see follow me on Twitter and make sure to see the announcements for that. But on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to be doing probably Borderlands 2, as long as the other two who have not played through them join me still. If not, I'll be doing probably Fall Guys or Rocket League. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows? And on Saturday morning, we're going to be doing Warzone. And we did Warzone last Saturday, played for 4 hours.
And?
Gotta win.
Gotta win.
We won. We actually got the W. It was down to Quentin and Brig. I had died. Had Brig dropped the amount of money that was necessary, I would have been called back in. It would have been 3v1v1 at the end.
But we have the real MVP to shout out.
Go ahead.
Patrick.
Oh yeah, because he won with 0 kills. He was in the group too, but he was dead.
Hiding.
It was a 30-minute match. We went from the beginning to end, and he died. He didn't get the gulag. He got bought back in. He died again. 0 kills, got a W.
That's me. I suck at Warzone.
So it was.
I'm a running gun, not running away from people in camp and shoot people to win. Like I'm a.
Oh no, we rush. We went in.
Not like me.
Patrick doesn't shoot his gun, apparently. I don't know. He just crouches around and becomes a bullet sponge. He calls himself the bullet sponge.
I'm a bullet sponge.
Yeah. So, make sure you check out my stream. I'll be on there doing that kind of stuff. As far as our podcast goes, we would appreciate it if you guys hit the like button on our YouTube channel and subscribe to the podcast to be notified when we go live. Hit the bell. And we'd appreciate more subscriptions on here. As long as we get to enough, we'll have our own URL one day. So hopefully we can get to there. If you want to follow us on Facebook, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That's our social media. Just search PTO Unlimited on Facebook. Twitter is @PTO Unlimited, and Instagram is PTO Unlimited_podcast. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it is @Lemke619.
Brett_Wings.
Cute_kitty.
On a final note, so I went on a quest to get a different headset.
Okay.
You don't like the one you have?
So I like the one I have, but
Oh.
it's corded, and I wanted one that I can go back and forth between my Xbox and my PC. And
Oh,
to do
these. Razer.
well, I'm
Oh
getting to
yeah,
that.
100%.
So I was looking around at what I wanted to get, and now, can I ask what those cost?
Yeah, I don't
60?
remember. 60 maybe.
70
60.
for hers or
But-
more?
But they plug.
Mine
in.
was more.
You have to plug them in, right?
Yeah.
So I landed on a couple options, but one of them was the first party from Microsoft because it can go between the Xbox and Windows 10. So I go and I'm like, okay, I guess I have two ones I can sell those and get this. They're only $100, and all the
That's not
reviews
bad
I've
at all.
watched, they're not great, but for $100 they're a solid headset. I'm not on that headset that much, so
No.
that'd be fine. So I go to look for them, cannot find them on any online retailer.
Really?
They're only on eBay and like auction websites for more than $100.
That's not the way to go. Sorry.
I was at work the other day and I look on the app and it says in stock at your store.
Oh.
Like, oh. So I go out to electronics and I look, can't find it.
Oh.
And I run in the back to kind of look where I think they might be, can't find it. So I leave my store, I was going home, and I happen to stop at the store that's closer to my house because I forgot to get stuff. So I'm like, I'll just take a look at electronics. So I walk back to electronics. There's 4 in the case. So I'm like, whoa. So
did you get one?
I got one.
Yeah? Try it out?
I haven't yet.
No. Okay.
But I'm excited to. And I'm especially excited that I don't have to plug and play on my PC to use it.
Well, that's always good to do. But I have an extension cable. It doesn't bother me. That's what those are sitting on top of.
Yeah,
our
it's
PC.
like there's that on top of how long this.
Now,
is.
do those, they just plug into a 3.5 jack on your controller?
Yeah.
Yeah, they work just fine. Well, I can't say that. I have issues. Alex doesn't. I have issues when I turn on my controller. For some reason, it doesn't connect the mic. It happens.
It's a controller issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you have the real expensive Elite 2? And you're having issues?
Yeah, it's because on the Razer port thing, you can turn the bass up and you can mute it as well. When I have those active,
the controller.
No, on the controller adapter.
Right, the adapter part that plugs that has your controls that plugs into the controller.
Yeah, there's a mute and there's also a add bass to it.
Okay.
And when I have those on, I think that's what does it because it's something that's active that the Xbox isn't reading properly.
I see.
But it doesn't happen often. All I do is just turn the controller off, turn it back on.
Are those like? Did they have to say will work with Xbox, or are they just like?
I don't think they're advertised for Xbox. I think they're just
They're advertised for all consoles.
Yeah, I think it's just on Razer's website. It's called like a gaming headset.
3.5 millimeter gaming headset. And they'll list what it works on. It works on everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So anyway, I was pretty happy about that. I couldn't believe that they're out of stock on everything. But I walk into a store.
Was it the one down the road here? Maysville.
No, it's Cornwall.
Okay. Speaking of Stellhorn, construction, careful.
Oh yeah, I saw
it's down to 1 lane. We had to deal with that BS. So ready to go?
Yep.
All right, let's get on out of here, guys. We're gonna catch you guys next week. It was a long episode.
Lots to say.
Yeah. All right, we'll catch you guys next week. Bye, guys.